Each of them has its color, or colors mostly. I get, for example, the color red for anger, for what it represents, or the color blue for depression, since it feels like you're drowning in a bottomless sea. And it's just a color I think most people would associate with sadness. I can theorize maybe that the golden yellow color for acceptance makes sense, since such a bright color can represent the enlightenment of acceptance, the warmth of letting go of something. But for the other two, I can't really see what made them decide which one to draw with. Denial is white, and unless I go off with some random theory saying that maybe the white represents the emptiness she feels at first, just as she starts going through that grief, I have no idea what it can be. Even less with bargaining. I can't even imagine why they chose green and brown for it. I'd like to hear from you actually. Which reasons do you think they had for their chosen colors? Or what others you would have chosen? It's not as simple as just having 5 different worlds with 5 different colors though. I like how the change is slow and progressive. At the start of the third part, for example, the one for bargaining, there's still traces of red here and there. The wood in the trees is closer to red than it is to brown. And there's like a reddish mist in the air. Just as how this grieving process aren't just as simple as going directly from one to another of the stages. You can see here how, even though she's entered the stage of bargaining, there's still some rage in her, some anger left, though not as strong as when she abandoned denial. It's fantastic. And that's not the only example. In the depression part, for example, as she swims through the different puzzles, some traces of the golden color we see in the end start appearing. Also, the controller plays a big part in this game too. I assume it's not the same if you played it on Steam, with your computer, but as a lot of other games, GRIS uses the controller features to enhance, I suppose, the experience, and I think it helps create a better atmosphere. Whenever you see a bird on the screen, you can hear it singing in the controller, as well as you can hear her when she starts singing when reaching acceptance. Another detail with the controller that could even go unnoticed if you're lost in the game is the fact that, whatever part you're at, the controller lights change to match the color of said part. While you traverse the desert of anger, your controller's bright red will turn green once you reach the bargaining stage. It's for something completely useless and that you may not even realize, as I say. But it feels like the developers who made the game actually care about it and want to make the best experience possible, taking care of the smallest of details, like something you're not even supposed to be looking at. And I gotta say, maybe I got too excited here that this is more of a normal thing in video games. I simply might have ignored it in the past, but in contrast, I appreciate it now because, knowing I wanted to make a video, I was thinking about what things would be important and necessary when talking about this video. The difficulty is pretty low. You might get stuck for a few minutes in a puzzle because you don't really see what to do. It happened to me once or twice. But it's mostly because you don't recognize you could actually jump to a specific place or break something with your powers. So even though it has some puzzles, such a word could even be an exaggeration, since it's closer to figuring out how to climb a mountain in Minecraft without blocks on your inventory than it is to a game like Talos Principle, for example, another game on my backlog, by the way. So even though I've already recommended this game, I encourage you to download it from the PS Store and try it out when you just want to chill and relax. Now, I have a few theories about the game. That could be completely wrong, but I wanted to share them to see if most people think like me, or if I'm just dumb. first, I don't know about psychology, so when I was already in the anger stage in around 10 minutes, I felt like I must have skipped some content without realizing. But then I thought, maybe this is on purpose. Maybe you spend less time on the denial stage because it's the one people overcome the fastest. I felt really smart for my reasoning, but it turns out the shortest stage in grieving is bargaining for most people. So I was kind of wrong. So then I thought that maybe the problem was that, I simply was wrong in deciding where the denial stage ended and the anger stage started, since, as I said before, the change isn't immediate. So maybe when the background started having a reddish color, it wasn't really any of the two, but more of a gradual transition between denial and anger. Second theory. In the desert part, you get pushed back by some strong winds every few seconds, unless you seek cover. But with the powers to become heavy, those currents don't affect you. And maybe that's just a way to add different puzzles to the game, playing with how the current moves and the timing of your movements. But I want to believe there's a message inside it. It could be that your heavy weight resisting the wind could mean that in those moments when your anger threatens to go on a rampage, you need to stay strong and focused. Otherwise, it will take control and lead you to things you will regret, throwing you around like the wind in the game. And also, in the end of the game, in the part where she has accepted her loss, we'll still see a great variety of colors we have been seeing through the whole game. There's red in the butterflies, green in the bushes, blue in the water. I wonder if that's the way of the developers of telling us that those things, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, are an intrinsic part of us, something that stays with us even after we've overcome it. Regardless of whether my thoughts make sense or are just completely false, it doesn't change the feelings you get from playing this game. I feel like for a lot of people, it can be one of those comfort games we'll have and go back to when we just want to have a good time and enjoy some nostalgia. Especially if you've had to overcome the loss of a loved one, I think you can really see yourself projected through her journey to acceptance and walk it with her understanding what she's going through. And that's pretty much all I have to say about GRIS for now. I'd really love to hear your opinion on the game, as well as your own theories regarding the messages it wants to give, with its different details. So until the next one, goodbye.